accidentally let the other song begin. Oh no, mic check. Mic check. Mic check.
We haven't even done that yet.
Oh my god, mic check.
Oh no.
Oh my god, mic check.
How will we know
Are you hot on the mic?
if the checks are mic'd?
Oh my god, check.
Are the checks
Oh
mic'd?
my god, it's Friday. We're 7 minutes early.
Is it DJ Jazzy Jeff?
DJ Jazzy Fresh Prince. Oh no. Okay, here we go. All right. We've begun the show, everybody. We've begun the show. We don't know. We just, it's Friday. What do you want us to do? You know, it's Friday. How am I supposed to, how do I even start my show anymore? Welcome to the show, everybody. It's March 4th, 2022. Friday. Oh my God. How y'all doing out there? What do we gotta, do I have to do the traffic report? Traffic report. Heading northbound. It's bumper to bumper out there. It's chrome to chrome. The I-5. Oh gosh, the snarls out there. Hey, let's throw it over to Alyssa. Alyssa, how are you out there in the chopper? What is it looking like out on the roads today?
It's pretty bad going north from Tacoma to Fife, but then after that it clears up for a little bit until we get up to Seattle. And it seems that people are trying to come back to work from lunch.
Oh no, guys, you know what I don't like? I don't like traffic. Y'all get what I'm saying? You guys know what I'm talking about. Oh my God, I just hate it when we gotta sit out there in traffic. It's just the worst. Oh my God. Meep, honk, honk. Anyhow, what's up, everybody? It's Friday. What are we doing today? We're talking about air pumps. We're talking about air pumps, sponge filters, biomedia, whatever. That's going to be our starter thing today because Alyssa's going to tell us about her air pump fiasco that she's proud of, which is good. The other news in the world. The member number, we got up to 80. It's a darn lie. We were lying. Sorry, we went back down to 79. I don't know who left. We lost a member. The number went down. That's how it goes, which means the moist tattoo goal is going to have to go down. Also, I don't know if people are aware. Alyssa, are you aware? Let me know if you're aware. Some people out there in the world haven't looked at that little part on their credit card that says, like, March 2022. It says 03/22. Their credit cards expire. Their credit cards expire. And the people at the bank, the bankers, right, they send you a new one in the mail, which means you got to go and update things that are automatically transacting via that credit card specifically. And that's what happened to Patreon because the first of the month came and we lost a whole bunch of people. So we went from 142 to 135. Bummer. But if you still want to sponsor the show, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Do what you like. Do whatever you like. It just is what it is. I will continue to adapt to whatever it is you guys like to do. You know, because why would I bash my head against the wall, right? We'd all just end up with headaches.
Yeah.
And
don't need to be giving yourself a concussion.
Bloody wounds. Right, we don't need bloody wounds. We don't need
more
that.
concussion. I don't know if you've had concussions in the past. Yes, but I recommend not increasing your concussion rate.
I've had many concussions, my friends. Yeah. Anyhow, let's bring on our guests so we can talk about our fish tank stuff, and then we'll get into other things. It's Alyssa Bentley.
Yay!
It's Alyssa Bentley. What's up, everybody? It's Alyssa Bentley. She's here. We got to update our numbers up here. Hold on, 135. We've gone down. You guys saw the scrolling event. Oh, hold on. Let me go back so I can copy the scrolling event. I have to go back over here, guys, because I'm a rookie amateur hour, and I forgot to... Oh, wait. What's going on with this?
Is it all because... Can we blame it all on the updating of all that software?
I think it's this one. Oh, my God. We were trying to... we were trying to update the software, and it did not... It wasn't going good. All right, and now we can go back over here now that we have said thing copied. We can paste it here. Paste as a new source. Let's go like that. All right, there we go. Our moist tattoo eraser is operating. Now we've got it, but we have to add up and do some maths here. 135 plus 79. What kind of number are we looking at there? Because we add the 9 to the 35, which gives us 144.
I would start with 130 and 70, and I would get 200, and then I would add 14 to it, so 214.
Yeah, that's what I put in there.
Yeah.
So, thanks for checking.
Yeah.
We're good. All right, our moist tattoo goal meter. Should I put it down here? That's the question. Or right here. Just put it right in the middle. There
You
we
could
go.
just scroll it right across our eyeballs.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
are we at the?
Hey, quit
Are we
moving.
at even?
You can't keep move. You can't. That's fake posture. I see that. You're doing this.
Yeah, I know because I'm trying to be at the same eyeball level.
I already moved the cameras so that they're pretty close.
Yeah, I know.
And then you just change your posture so you move around. All right, we see how it is. We see how it is around here.
Just-
We're watching, fool. To those of you that are wondering, who is Alyssa? Because I had somebody send me a vicious message. They sent me a
Vicious?
very BS message that I'm not going to post because it was hate-filled nonsense.
Oh,
But they thought that Alyssa was my wife.
oh.
Which Alyssa is very much not my wife. Just
No,
so
Vicky's
just to those of you out there that want to send me a bunch of hate mail or whatever, just so you are aware, my wife is a different lady,
yeah.
and Alyssa's husband is a different lady, or our spouses.
My husband is a different guy.
It's a different lady. Did I say lady?
You did, but that's okay.
Yeah, Alyssa's husband's a different lady. Everybody, you know it. You know
Right.
what I'm saying. You're with me. You understand.
Yeah, yeah.
Words, language.
In this case,
English?
lady
Yeah.
is a gender neutral term.
It's gender neutral. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I am, as I think most people could recognize, I'm a gender neutral guy. I represent my sex is male, right? My sex is male, obviously. I think. Well, maybe it's obvious. I don't know. I made a baby with a lady, so maybe it's obvious by that extension. I don't know.
Hey.
My sex is male, but my gender is totally fluid. I don't even care about that. That is not something that bothers me. And by the way, to those of you out there that are like, how weird is Joel? Like, fishnets and high heels? Why not? Does not bother me. Would not bother me. And if there was a reason to do it, I would do it.
Yeah.
I normally don't because I wear construction clothes because I work outside in the mud and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's probably the main reason I don't dress like Prince. I think I
It's a
would.
good way to break your ankle if you're out there in the mud and stuff.
It's
and-
true. It's true.
Yeah.
I think realistically, if I was going to dress, who was the guy? It's escaping me right now. The guy who had the painting up in the attic and he didn't age.
Oh, I don't remember.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
Oh.
I've heard of the story, and I don't remember the person's
Yeah,
name.
I'd probably dress like a combination of that guy, whose name I can't remember, and Prince probably. I'd probably dress like those two guys combined. I think realistically. But since I work in the mud all the time, I wear construction pants and stuff. And cowboy shirts. I mean, because it's the way to go.
Yeah, like you do.
Wash and wear, baby. Wash and wear. There ain't no dry cleaning around here.
Right. Right.
There would be if I was lucrative.
If you were lucrative, you could just hire your own personal
Dry cleaner?
dry cleaner who lives in the back.
That would be, I think, okay, let's be clear here. A personal dry cleaner would be far less cool. Dorian Gray, there we go. Thank you, Michael and Geek Boy. Dorian Gray, that's who it is. Yeah, for some reason it was just like poof dud right out of my brain. But, okay, personal dry cleaner, I don't know. But a personal... Here's two options. A personal tailor, which would be rad, or a personal cobbler. What would you pick between those two? Because a dry cleaner, that's a service. You could just find that and just pay. You could just pay somebody who's a dry cleaner, right? Personal cobbler or personal tailor,
I think a tailor,
right?
because a cobbler, you just get a good relationship going with a professional cobbler, but you probably don't have enough business for that cobbler to just focus on
No.
your
We're
own
talking. We're
shoes.
talking lucrative here, baby.
I know.
We're talking lucrative.
I know. I have a hard time.
But let's say
thinking
you
about
had a personal cobbler. He doesn't only have to make, or she. I don't know.
they.
They don't. They don't have to make only shoes for you,
That's true.
right? Like your whole crew could be decked out with the matching shoe, custom shoe,
Yeah,
right?
That's true. That's
Like,
a good
'cause
point.
And just imagine, like, even if you were like a hip hop guy, like that's balling. Like everybody's wearing your own custom shoe.
Yeah.
Like, because everybody's wearing Michael Jordans or something, right? And you're like, all right, that's cool. I get it. You know, or Yeezys or whatever they're wearing or whatever, right?
Right.
But just imagine, like, if you were a crew and everybody was just, like, rocking the same, like, snappy shoes.
Yeah. Or they all looked the same, but were shaped for everybody's individual foot so that they were, like, the most comfortable
Right.
long wear type of shoes.
So S says, I would rather have a blacksmith. But here's the deal. If it comes down to blacksmithing, I would do that. Like, I wouldn't, you know.
Because
Like,
that'd be
I
like
would
your
do that.
personal thing that you did.
I would do that, and I would hire some other apprentices, I guess, or laborers. Come on, not apprentices. I don't want to teach them anything. Come on. I just want to tell them to do stuff. Like, hey, move all that iron over there. Hey, sweep this floor. Hey.
But I feel like just knowing you would be teaching them stuff anyways, just because you're not like
A psycho?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But maybe if I was, like, super lucrative, I could get totally crazy.
Yeah.
And just, like, sit around and, like, stare at people all weird. Right?
You could. It's
I mean, I don't think so, but you know what I mean. Oh, my God, guys. Announcement. We have an announcement to make. We have an announcement. Oh, you didn't make the beady beep 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 noise. I thought you were going to make a beady beep. I don't know why. You've never done it before? I just assumed you were going to go like beady beep 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 beep. But, you know, assumptions are rough. You know, we all feel the pain.
like we said, I'm not his wife, so I can't read his mind.
That's true. Yeah, you're just my buddy. You're just my friend.
Yep.
Russ McCormick has become a new member today.
Causing us to have to change the number and do a small amount of math.
We like the number. We like the number change. Let's be honest. Everybody's got bills to pay. And, you know, I've talked about this, I feel like ad nauseum, but maybe you guys haven't heard it before. You know, my goal in life is to make things I want to make like the Mandalorian of fish tanks, right? I want to make like content that is just people that don't like Star Wars, they like the Mandalorian, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, dude, there's new episodes coming out. There's guys with laser swords and a spaceship and like a little green guy, right? I want to do that for fish tanky stuff. I want to be able to make things that's like, hey, here's aquascaping with this plant. And then it'd be like, where did this plant come from? And then I fly to Germany to go talk to Stefan Hummel and film an interview with him about where he found it. And then kidnap Stefan Hummel and fly to the place where he found it. And then shoot all of that video for you guys. And then, that's the kind of content I want to make. You know? We're not there yet. But we're closer. 215 people now.
One step closer.
One step closer to the moist tattoo. People wonder what that goal is. If we get to 500 paid people, I'm gonna tattoo moist on me, and I'll make a YouTube video out of it, because the guy who's gonna tattoo it is very entertaining. So
Good.
We'll put it that way. The green room is open today. If anybody busts into the green room on Patreon, we will talk to you, because you know, right?
We like talking to people.
Yeah,
It's
we
fun.
like talking to people, and if you're one of our crew over there on the Patreon or on Discord, sorry, did I say Patreon? I'm an idiot.
Did, but
I apologize. I'm an idiot. I was trying to say Discord, and that's where we're at.
if you're on the Patreon, you can get a link to the Discord.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's solid. Yeah. Okay. So, what happened to you this week? Let's hear it.
So I was looking at my fish basement is set up and it's all temporary, right? And so I've been like, okay, so I don't want to do anything permanent down here, because then, you know, it's going to be a pain in the butt when we eventually move all the fish into the fish room that will eventually be built after some other structural stuff gets fixed and blah, 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 blah. Well, it's been a year. And one of my air pumps, like I've got 4 of them that I had set up around my basement. One of them was just like piddling out air. and I couldn't figure out why, and I was trying to like replace the filter and stuff on it, maybe take it apart and look at it and tinker around in there, and finally I was like, man, I have this linear piston air pump that's just sitting there that I've had sitting here for over a year, just waiting to be set up in my, in my fish room. And I'm like, what if I could figure out how to set it up temporarily for all of my tanks? And then, and I'm like, how would I do that? And and on top of that, one of my other air pumps that runs really strongly also is missing a foot, and so it's like sitting there on the plastic on top of something and just like vibrating all over the place, and it's super loud and irritating. Anyway, so I had reasons, obviously, and finally I just I asked a couple of questions. I was like, okay, when people say if you set up a linear piston air pump, you got to set up the PVC pipes around your fish room, and I'm like, what does that mean? Does that mean you're making a loop? Or are you just putting pipes in directions so that it's going around the fish room? I didn't know. I asked a question. I got the answer. You make a loop. So then I just went and made a mock-up of what my fish room looks like. Made like a map. Got out the old measuring tape. Made measurements. And everything just lined up how it's supposed to.
It's like you measured,
Yeah.
and then you were like, this needs to be 5 feet long, and then you cut it 5 feet long.
Yeah.
And then it just fit right in there.
Right. I even did math. I looked up how long PVC pipe comes in, like how long the lengths are. And it turns out they come in 10-foot lengths usually at the store. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, I need two 11-foot lengths.
Well, yeah, it's going to be 3 sticks. Yeah.
Right. Like two 11-foot lengths, like whatever. It turned out to be, after I did the math and then I like stuck a couple of pieces together or whatever, 7 sticks of PVC.
Oh.
Yeah. And after cutting everything and sticking them all together with like little connector pieces, and I got all the right size elbows and everything, and one T pipe connector, and ended up with exactly this much spare pipe. And I was like, yes!
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah. So we gotta, and then it worked out.
It worked out.
Right. And Michael Starr has a good point here. He says, I hear it should be a loop so that pressure doesn't get less the further away from the source. If it's a loop, it's more dispersed. Yeah, so I think a loop is kind of confusing to people. It's more like a lasso, you know? It's like one line and then a loop on the end of the one line, right? Like a lasso.
That makes sense.
I think kind of makes a little more sense. So the problem with air pumps, especially with like, linear pumps and stuff that's going down a line, like this pump right here. These are the pumps off Amazon that I recommend to people. These Alita air pumps are kind of the best quality per cost. They're not the cheapest. They're not the most expensive. They're sort of the ones that I recommend to people. Obviously, $160 isn't $0. I get it. But these are the ones that I recommend. I've beaten the crap out of these, and they just last for a really, really, really long time. Chances are, if you buy one of these, you probably may never have to buy another one. I'm not saying that they will specifically last forever, but you probably won't have to buy another one. And also, we have to do the disclaimer. Amazon link. We're an Amazon affiliate, so if you buy stuff through Amazon, we get a commission, and I've warned you. So it's in the chat, and I warned you, so deal with it. Anyhow.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like a lasso, I think, is like almost, if we're just using words and no pictures, it's kind of like the easy way to describe it. But the way that these pumps work is that you will get loss of pressure, but you will like wear down the pump if you aren't doing a loop, right? Because it's trying to generate pressure, and it's going to be constantly essentially you're going to have like a raising and lowering of pressure where the pump is at, as opposed to it just pushing, X amount of psi down the pump or down the line all the time. Just because of the nature of like it pushes air down there, then you have your little air lines that come out, then that relieves some of the air, then it changes the pressure, right? Instead of just pushing a constant pressure all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That makes sense.
it'll just generally like wear it down. So that's kind of the main reason. And you'll get inconsistent pressure from all of your sponge filters, right?
Yeah. Right now, some of my...
You run like Aquarium Co-op sponge filters, right?
I have a few of those. I've got so many different ones. Mm-hmm. I don't have a monoculture of sponge filters.
You don't have a monoculture?
No.
Oh.
I wasn't sure how to say that. I'm like... I have a lot of kinds.
Is it a polyculture? Who was that guy? Oh, I posted that comment from that dude that goes like, radical leftist, like fish tube content. Like, oh hell no. Like, it was a good topic though.
Right.
Like, and it's like one of those things where you go like, wait, what? Like, why? What? Okay. See you later, bud. Yeah. It's so funny.
Yeah. It was super crazy.
It's funny because like, and I think you've experienced this. I think you've been exposed to it more. I think over the last few months for sure, where it's like, there are certain groups, especially in the United States, that claim that they've been ostracized or whatever, or like they're under attack or something. I don't know. It's pretty hilarious to me, really. And yet it's the people that, generally speaking, are of the group that have been attacking all of the marginalized groups for, I don't know, the last 1,000 years or something.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you, some kind of freak leftist? It's like, hey man, I'm a democratic socialist, just so you guys understand. Like, democracy is number one.
Mm-hmm.
Strong social programs is what I support, because a community affecting change is always better than an oligarch commanding change on everybody, right?
Yeah.
And I don't understand where people have like, they want a king, I guess. I don't know. They want a king to tell them what to do. I don't like that.
It's good to be the king.
Me no likey. Me American. I throw your tea in the harbor.
Right.
Get out of here. Get out of here, king random guy.
And we'll have your salty iced tea.
Right. I'll throw Bezos' tea in the harbor.
Right.
Yeah. I'll throw Elon Musk's Tesla in the harbor.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so you don't have a monoculture of sponges.
No.
Is what you're saying. You have
I have
just
a
whatever
few.
sponge filter. You don't really care. Is there like something that you look for specifically out of them, or?
So ideally, if I've got multiple sponge filters in a tank, which I have frequently, I want one that's dense and one that's like the Aquarium Co-op sponge filters, which are all really open,
coarse,
very coarse.
Mm-hmm.
But the Co-op doesn't carry the less coarse ones. They only carry the coarse ones.
Mm-hmm.
And so in my Snow White tank, my big pond with the Snow Whites in it, I've got one that cost me $25 for this big dense thing that's like this big around, which is like 10 inches, which is, I don't know how many centimeters.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and it's huge, and it is very dense and very heavy, and it actually does have space in the middle for a airline connected to a, what are those things called? Airstone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty cool. I do like that the Aquarium Co-op ones all have that.
Right.
But in general, like the Aquarium ones don't. Anyway. But other than that,
No,
I-
I mean, I'm with you. What happened?
Right.
Did your train go off the tracks?
no, I was just thinking about, I'm like, why am I just shilling for various companies here? I don't know.
It doesn't matter. It's fine. What? I mean,
So in general, what I
you're
look
like, oh
for,
no, don't say Aquarium. Somebody will have heard you.
nah.
That's fine. Yeah.
So in general, what I look for in a sponge filter is like the size of it
Mm-hmm.
and whether it'll fit in a tank. I like it if you can take the top off of one and then smash the pieces together to make like a really long one. Every once in a while, I like to do that. I have been known to like sometime after many years, the sponges itself will never get clean again, and they just kind of turn into floppy mush nothingness. And so you have to replace the sponge. And I have definitely just used the filter pad that you get off of Amazon or whatever, and just like cut it to fit. And I've got a couple that are just like 3 sheets stacked on top of each other and just kind of like in a square in a corner of a tank. And that's fun. But yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just
so
got
you're
this
running
huge...
you're running all sponge filters as opposed to any kind of biomedia or anything like that.
No, well, the sponge is a biomedia.
But you understand the differentiation between the two when I say the words coming out of my mouth, right?
Do you mean like as opposed to
Like a biological, like a biomedia, right?
like like them little ceramic ball
Sure.
things?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I've got
Yeah. I mean, where am I? Am I
In all
am
of
I coming out of
my-
the blue here? I
No,
could be.
in all of my hang-on back filters, because I have those too.
Mhm.
They have the little bag full of the ceramic media.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. Is that you run hang-on back filters also?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you run both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the reason why I run both, the air is specifically like a, it's like assurance or insurance, maybe assurance. The hang-on back filters produce a lot of turbulence in the water and pick up a lot of the mulm and stuff that all the plecos produce. Because you know plecos, they just pooping all the time.
Them plecos be pooping, bro.
They be eating and they pooping,
Right.
and that's all they do. They eat, they poop, and they hide. And yeah, and so if you don't have something picking it up, you just kind of have this like thick mat full of just mulm at the bottom of your tank, just kind of hanging out. And it's pretty gross.
Yeah. S says that don't ask me about CChem Matrix. I don't know why not.
But I've heard your rant about CChem Matrix.
Yeah. I mean, it's high-grade pumice.
Yeah.
If you can buy high-grade pumice, it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that my rant is. And at the time, like, when that video came out, I actually had a different spouse. That's how long ago that was.
Yeah.
Who was a geologist, by the way. And, you know, people are like, well, where's your expertise here? And it's like, do you see that the hand that's in that video? It's like, that's the expert that was helping me, like, identify the stuff. Anyhow, but, like, you could buy Matrix. Feel free. Like, if it's on sale or something, and you're like, that's a good value for me. It's fine. There's nothing wrong. It's just porous pumice. You know, that's all that it is. And then people would be like, I've put it under a microscope and it has more holes per whatever area, like screaming at me on the internet. And I'm just like, I don't even know if you know how to operate a microscope, let alone know what the hell's going on once you've stuck it up against your eye, right? Or if you actually do have a microscope. I don't know. So It's really one of those things that, like, Johan and I put a bunch of stuff in the electron microscope when I was in the Netherlands, and it's it's one of those things that, like, there's dead bacteria all over the biomedia. The holes are too big for the bacteria because, like, on the electron microscope, you can see here's a bacteria, here's the hole, right? So, like, I'm not really sure what people are losing their minds about, like how they got a microscope and they looked under there and there was more holes or whatever. So, it's really one of those, like, really strange situations, and it went on for years, and I think it's still one of my more viewed videos. I think it's a garbage it's a trash video. It's literally a video I made at the spur of the moment. Like, it wasn't even.
Does it get more views than the what is it, Stratum versus EcoComplete or something, as far as volume versus weight?
Probably. I mean, I'd have to look it up to be honest, but probably, because I think the Substrate video, like, I don't even think that has. Hold on, where do I even look that up? Analytics. Let's go to analytics. We can find my top 10 videos. Well, my top 10 videos, like, this period over the last little while. So number 10 was, will the Senate cancel all fish keepers? Because I clickbaited the title. Hygrophila corymbosa, aquarium sump overflow plumbing. That one, it always does well for some reason. Pearlweed, propagating plants, beginner aquarium plants. Anubias nana, Rotala rotundifolia, building height, and then, of course, because this one was clickbaited too, tropical fish will not be illegal, HR 4521. Clickbait title, which we did talk about that. So it's not like a. Let's see.
It wasn't a bait and switch title.
I don't know where this is in analytics. I felt like I was just gonna click on it. Video. Hold on. Click on this. Views by video. I don't even know. Oh, it's doing. Oh, that's why. Because it's. I got to do lifetime. Lifetime. There we go. So we can look up lifetime and we'll let this thing search. There we go. So top viewed video is sump for a freshwater aquarium.
I was like, it's going to be the sump video.
It's got to be the sump video, which is funny because, like,
you're the sump guy.
I know I saw Palmer Aquatics he's got, like, a new podcast out or something.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody sent me the clip where he was, like, talking about how he hates sumps or whatever, and I was just like, okay. Okay, I guess. Why did somebody send me this? And it's like, because you're the sump guy. And it's like, I'm not the sump guy. I like sumps. I told you why I like sumps. That doesn't make me the sump guy.
I don't. The sump times
I don't
guy.
manufacture them for people or anything. I just I don't know. It's kind of weird, but, like, okay. I put sumps on all my tanks because they work better than other filters, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. How to make a driftwood display, how to drill your aquarium. Seachem sells pumice as biomedia. There it is.
Yep.
That's number 4. Best schooling aquarium fish, aquarium sump overflow. Yeah, I mean, it's all to be expected. Aquarium content, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the sump for a freshwater aquarium is by far and away my most popular video at only 250,000 views. So it is what it is. What are you going to do? Nowadays, I do stuff to get rid of too many fans. I don't like too many fans. I mean, you guys heard my spiel earlier. We want to have 500 people paying for support or whatever. But I'll tell you this much. There's a lot of people out there that will do stuff so that they exclusively will get more people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And more often than not, there's a lot of people out there playing a caricature of themselves, right? It's
yeah.
just like, oh, I'm gonna act like somebody who's interested in the thing or whatever, and like I hope you guys understand, like I don't do any acting on here, like to a degree, like I don't swear,
Yeah.
and then I just don't give out like personal information stuff. That's pretty much it. Like, but this I don't know. I feel like when people meet me, they're like, oh yeah, he was like a guy. He's like that dude. Okay, so I've just been going like, hey man, I like hanging out with like 1,000 people, and that I don't need 1,000,000 people following me. It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much because the good messages get drowned out by the hate mail.
True.
And that's boring and stupid.
Yeah. Since we were just talking about all kinds of filter stuff, Nathan Yandel, who I don't think I've read his name before, so that's fun, says, is it possible to have too much filtration? He's got 400 grams worth of filtration. 400 grams or 400 gallons? I don't know. In a 90, sponges, hang on back, and a canister. So to that, I would say not. It depends on how you're looking at it. Like if the fish that you're keeping are like acting like they're in some kind of a blender, then
like a whirlpool.
Yeah, like they're in some kind of a whirlpool. They're like, no, help. And just like trying to find any sort of rest space that they possibly can. Obviously that's too much water turnover for your fish. But otherwise, it's like if you, like, let's say you're not optimized,
right?
And you're having too much more biomedia than you necessarily need. All right. Well, you're basically set up for if something happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like Darko Leskovchek was asking, should you go for a double sponge filter over a single sponge? One, if you have enough room, and it's the same kind of thing. Like, yeah, because you could clean one of the sponges. Mm-hmm. Like, you take out a little bit of water out of the tank, squeeze it in there a billion times, put it back in. And you don't have to mess with the other sponge filter.
Right.
Like, and then a week later you do the other one and you just alternate one by one like that. Same thing with having like a hang on back filter and a canister. It's like, oh, let me do maintenance on the canister this week. And then next week I'll do the hang on back. And then, you can just kind of alternate your maintenance instead of running the risk, and it's a very small risk. You gotta be very clear on that it is a very small risk that you could kill off all your biological stuff on the filter. It's very, 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 very small risk. But I have seen it before where people have done maintenance and it cycled their tank and a bunch of fish got sick,
Yeah.
Like I said, it's rare that an experienced person would do that, but I've seen it happen. And it's like I said, it doesn't happen every day, especially from experienced people. But like if you're somebody that's new, or new-ish or whatever, maybe you're intermediate or something, and you have some questions about stuff, I would always just say, add a little extra filtration because it gives you more variance for human error, right? That's like, oh, I forgot to clean my tank this last week because I had a soccer tournament that I had to go to, and I was just super tired and wiped out, and then I had to go back to work on Monday, and then I was at work all week, and the whole week just kind of flew by, because you're like, we're getting out of the pandemic, and maybe you did some extra stuff that you weren't doing before, and the week's just flying by super fast, and well, all the fish are fine, and everybody's fine because you have a little extra filtration on there to kind of cover your the human element of like you just got legitimately busy, right?
Right. Yeah. And also like recently I was looking at one of my tanks. It's like at the bottom in the corner somewhere in the back, and every day I was doing a water change, like 50% on this stupid little tank, because every day it was like this thick in mulm because it just produces so many fish. And finally one day I was like, man, I've got this spare hang-on back filter that's just sitting over here that I'd taken off of the tank that I had originally had it on, and I had cleaned it out really good and whatever, and it was dry for a while, and I just finally just like set it up in that tank. And yeah, it's a little hard to access, but I ended up putting that in and then taking one of the sponge filters out so that I can dry it out, squeeze it out, try to use it somewhere else if I need to. Because it was just taking up floor space in the tank, really. It's really not necessary to be that crowded in there with that many fish in that small of a tank. And the addition of the hang-on back filter picks up a lot of the gunk that had been the reason why I was doing a daily like 35% water change on that thing.
Right.
Which causes me to just clean the filter more often instead of having to do so many water changes all the time. And it's just a little bit more peaceful, you know?
Right.
But even still, it's like I still have one of the sponge filters in there just in case. Because sometimes what happens, you get like a power outage for 10 minutes and then half of your hang-on backs don't even start up again. But what does? Your air pump. You got to have that sponge filter, man. It's like,
right. And it's one of the reasons why I like sumps is, for a really, really, really long time, I had 30 tanks with hang-on back filters. And if the power did go out, all the hang-on back filters were air quote self-priming, unquote, right? But they were, I'd come home to because they didn't prime properly, and then I got to go through and prime all these hang-on back filters, which is not a big deal, but it's a real bummer if your power goes out while you're at work and then you come home 10 hours later and it's like, how long have these been doing this for? And they have to be damaged.
Right. They
have got to be damaged by that. There's just no...
Any water that was in them is all really hot.
Yeah, there's no I mean, you got to admit, the little pumps, the little magnetic impeller pumps that are in there, they probably cost 15 cents to make or something. 50 cents.
Yeah.
There's no way that they're handling being overworked and burning up like that. That's not good for them. Those little pumps are crap.
Right.
And it's one of those things that why I switched over to pumps. I had to sumps. I had power outages. The water will drain down and stop. And then when the power comes back on, that pump turns on and starts up again. You're like, okay, there's nothing weird going on there. It just turns back on.
Right.
And my lights would be weird because you'd have to reset all of your timers and everything for your lights. But, nowadays you can get Bluetooth versions of those and stuff like that, which I've been installing a bunch of those lately. Even hold on, let me find a link for them. The Bluetooth wall outlets. Let me see if I can find the ones that I've been installing. Where are they? There are ones that you just plug in, which I don't necessarily recommend those. I recommend the ones that you can actually install in the wall. And one of the reasons for that is that there's another point of contact when you have just a plug that plugs into your wall. There's now you have another thing plugged into the outlet that probably is going to then plug into a power strip. Right.
Yeah.
You start creating more points of contact. It creates resistance within your electrical system. So, wait, hold on. I got to find the ones that I'm specifically. Let's go to my orders and make sure I can find the actual ones. Let's see. Search all orders. Outlet. I bet it'll come right up. I got to put that's an R. Luckily, R is right next to T, and I'll be able to use it. There it is. These are the ones. I've been installing a lot of these Casa ones, and they work really, really well. So far, I have stress tested a few of them, and they managed to handle what they're actually rated for. They're UL rated. They work with your, they work within your mesh. They work within your mesh Wi-Fi. They work with Amazon Alexa, any of that kind of stuff. They have like a built-in program into them also that you can time them. You can have a timer built into them and have them just do whatever you want them to do. And there's literally like on the look at this over here.
Mm-hmm.
You notice the third thing down there on the app?
Yeah.
It's titled Fish Tank. You see
Oh.
that? Like even in their advertising, it actually
Nice.
says Fish Tank. Like, to put your fish tank timer. Those work really well. And like I said, I've stress tested these. I've been messing with them quite a bit, and they work out. They've been working really, really well. Those are ones that I could recommend, and I don't like to recommend the plug-in ones. Like I said, it's just another point of contact that you could have like a failure, and especially if you're like in a fish room or something like that that's humid, there's water, you're bonking them around, you're plugging them in, you're unplugging them, it's just a whole lot of stuff. So eliminate that.
Yeah.
Hire somebody or do it yourself to swap those outlets out.
Or when
And do
you're
it that
putting
way.
your fish room in, have your electrician put them in for you beforehand.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you could hire an electrician, probably a handyman, whatever, somebody who's qualified, licensed and bonded, have them come and swap those out for you. Or if you're like super handy person, you can likely do it. The cool thing with the outlets like that, you can wire them in tandem, so you can run them down a line. They don't need to be all coming from a different power source and stuff. So they work pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Geek Boy says I like the smart power strips. I can see where people are coming from on that one. Like if you like the power strips that have the Wi-Fi on them, I never had those work for very long.
Oh.
Like longevity wise, like they just get screwed up for whatever reason. Maybe it's because I'm a dum but which is
maybe
possible.
it's just new tech.
That is possible. Hey guys, we have to make an announcement here.
Uh-oh.
Darko became a patron during the show,
Sweet.
which brings our number up to 136.
Nice.
And that means we got to change our tattoo banner here. Oh my God, there we go. Okay, why did it do that? We should change the color on this thing. Can we make it pinker?
Probably.
This is as pink as we can get. Okay, well,
Well, it's kind of a
we can change the
salmon-y.
font. That font's kind of fun. Let's make it bold.
Okay.
There we go. Oh my God, it's bold. It's slowed down. I made it bold and it's slowed down.
It's like
you
just
see
so
that?
everybody
It's
can
like, hey.
read it.
Hey, you've made it bold. Make it Alfredo? Oh, that one's not good. Let's
Just don't
find us
do
a good
wingdings.
font. Baby Cruffy? Oh, I don't like that one. That is a silly font. Okay, there's one. Let's scroll way down. My font list is just way too long. Here we go. Oh, that one's tiny. That one's Tiny McTinerton.
If it's too small, people can't read it when they're looking on their phones.
What are you guys doing on your phones?
Well, you expect people to be sitting there at their computers?
I expect you to be at a full computer workstation at all times, ready to go.
36-inch screens.
45-inch screens. We got to be on the big screen. There we go. The moist tattoo goal is at 216 now. We're short. We were getting close to 250 before, but we've reversed. We've gone backwards, which is fine. It is what it is.
Yeah.
We're all living in it, you know?
It-
Metalfish is here, says, I have a couple of Java fern that are growing babies on the tips of the leaves. Is that a sign that is not doing well? No, that is a sign that is propagating. Those babies are going to become
Adults. Eventually.
adolescents,
Yes.
and then adults.
Right. The only time that indicates that it's not doing well is if it's like a brand new Java fern to your water, then it could be putting out babies that are more adapted to your particular water conditions. It's like the effort that the plant puts in order to make sure that the genetics of the plant live on. And in that case, then the mother plant might die off, but you will be gifted with the gift of many babies.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's not bad that that's happening, and it wouldn't necessarily mean that there's something wrong with your water. It generally is just a propagation. So Java ferns, oh my God, I was about to go into a Java fern spiel about the 3 methods of propagation, and I'm brain farting on some of them. Because rhizome is one.
Splitting the rhizome.
Yeah. Split rhizome. Then, what's the word? The tips. And then I can't remember the third one right now. There's a third one, and it escapes my brain.
Because it's a fern, so it puts out spores in the water?
It's escaped my mind. I don't know why. It's just not there. The information is just not there. But regardless of that, the Java fern is most likely fine. But if you are experiencing different things from your plants, you always do test some water. Test some water and look at the variables from your notes of going like, hey, a month ago my this was this and my this was that, you know. So you know, that's kind of what you're going to, you know, always the recommended tactic is to do some testing so you have some information. And once you have some active information, then you can make a change if you need to or stop stressing. You know, it's like, you know, if you do testing, you have something to work from and decide whether or not you're have an action plan, right? If the action is do nothing, then you stop stressing. Yeah. If the action is do something, then you go do it. And guess what? You stop stressing. So it's all about stress reduction. That's what this hobby is for, first and foremost, anyhow, right?
Yeah.
Stress reduction, chilling, having a good time, growing some stuff, making some babies with fishes or shrimps or snails.
Even plants.
Or plants or whatever. That's what the stress reduction is the whole point of this hobby anyhow. There are a bunch of other things that you get from this hobby, like learning, education, blah, 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 patience, whatever, you know, mechanical things, learning. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you get from this hobby. But first and foremost, it should be stress relieving, right?
I would hope so. Yeah, for sure.
It'd be like the bonsai guys being like stressed out about their bonsai trees all the time. It's like, dude, you got to have some peace within your hobby a little bit.
This thing is going to last you the rest of your life and the rest of your children's
Like,
lives.
like naked aggression is for like weightlifting or something, or like kickboxing.
Yeah.
You know, like
short bursts.
Yeah, that should be that type of hobby, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And speaking of hobbies, so those of you watching this show today, have you ever thought about hitting the like button? It is a terrific hobby that releases stress, makes you feel good about yourself, makes you feel good about others, makes you consider humanity, makes you embrace humanity to the depths of
to the deep dark depths.
the deep dark depths. Yeah, okay, there we go.
The deep dark cold salty depths.
My poetry and emotion is just lacking. I've been missing my spouse. She's been gone all week.
Yeah.
I never told you guys that, but she's been gone all week. She's returning. She's on an airplane, and she'll be here soon.
Yay.
And, you know, Vicky is my inspiration for poetic motion of word, mouth, edge.
That's adorable.
Stuff, hole, face, words. Like button. Boom. Killed them, guys.
Bringing it right back.
Crushed them. Brought it
Like
right
a
back to the like
circle.
button. Boom. Everybody's digging it. Yeah. But we appreciate you guys. And we appreciate the likes, I guess. I frankly, I hate the like button. I think that they got rid of the dislike button And you should get rid of the like button too. It's stupid. Just get rid of it. But you know, we got to pander to the stupid mechanism that is this platform that we're on. But Paula Kreinberg says, I love Java ferns, but they don't like me. I understand. I wholeheartedly understand. There was for a long time, I could not figure out. I mean, this is 15 years ago or something. I could not figure out why the Java ferns would not grow for me.
Right.
Because I think about 2008, maybe somewhere right around there. Me and my boy Sean, we went over because some guy was selling some aquarium parts. And we went over to his house, and we did not get murdered, which is good. That was a bonus. Lots of people were getting murdered around that time.
And the proof that he did not get murdered is the fact.
You don't know I'm a ghost. You don't know I'm a ghost.
That's true.
You don't know if I'm a zombie. You don't know if I'm undead.
That is a good point. I haven't seen if you're bit.
Oh. Might have been bit. Might have been bit. You never know. But anyhow, we went over to this guy's house. And because Sean had like contacted this guy somehow. And the reason I say that it was good that I didn't get murdered is because Sean was the kind of friend that would put us in potential murder situations all the time, right? Anyhow, we went over to this guy's house because he was buying some CO2 parts from this guy, which back then they were like
$1,000
rarer than hen's teeth. So
yeah,
it was worth it for us to go over there, even though.
So you had to be a super rich guy.
Yeah. So we went over, and this guy had a tank that the only plant in there was a giant Java fern that he had aquascaped it into just this big orb, and it was really cool. And so it was like, man, I want to try and get some of those Java ferns. It was a needle leaf Java fern, which was super rare back then to see them, the needle leaf ones. And I was like, man, I really want to do that. So I kept trying to deal with the Java fern, but I was always pushing and pushing and pushing to get my pH down because it was like back then that was the only way to grow dwarf baby tears. That was basically all that existed on the internet was like, you got to get your pH way down, and dwarf baby tears are impossible to grow, which nowadays, I mean, I could throw dwarf baby tears in the back of my tank, ignore it, and come back a month later and be like, oh, look, it's growing all over the place back here. So, but the Java fern, I kept struggling with it because my water was just so aggressively soft at the time that Java fern will just die, so, the thing was, after years of messing around with them, you got to bring that hardness up. Basically, if you do really good guppy water, Java ferns will grow. So if you're looking for like, what is my water supposed to be like? If you emulate water that's really healthy for guppies, you're gonna be good. You're gonna be good to go. You're gonna be rock and roll, good to go. So it's a piece of advice, I guess.
Java fern was.
By the way, I bought a lottery ticket, so hopefully we win. Fingers crossed, everybody. Cross your toes too, and your nose,
and your eyes,
Yeah. What were you saying?
Oh, Java fern was the first plant that I ever tried, and it just so happened to be a Java fern needle leaf, which I thought was a narrow leaf. I bought it in like 2004, and because of my pattern of neglect and living in Minnesota at the time, it grew just fine.
West Barshinger says like Spike. Now the thing is, like, I've driven enough of people away from this channel that we don't have all those like superfluous viewers anymore.
Right. There's 43 watching now and 40 likes.
Well, there's like 49 on my side, on the control side.
Oh.
And in the past, I'd probably have like 120 watching or something like that. But they were all just like the people that I drove away with my madness because I'm a super lefty, right?
Yeah.
As what was it Jake was saying earlier? I think it was Jake was saying earlier. Where did it go? Yeah, radically left polyamorous sponge filters for militant communist fish. It's the next Alex Jones rant, which is super funny. And appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Yeah. So the like spike thing, it doesn't work anymore. We don't have all those random weirdos hanging around anymore.
However, I like your thought. Good thought.
It's a good thought.
Yeah, man.
It's strong.
Thanks, man.
Strong play.
Thanks, Wes. So yeah, Paula, I would recommend just get some crushed coral or aragonite or something like that, and just chuck it in your tank, or gently put it in your tank, whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And your Java ferns will probably do a lot better. That's what I do. Every single one of my tanks has that, even with soft water fish. I'm
Right.
well, I don't want my pH going like this.
You don't want that.
No. So I'm just and bam, Emerald. Remember that? That's a long time ago
Bam.
now.
Bam.
Yeah.
Bam.
Bam. And
Bam.
with the
Bam.
with the crushed coral.
Bam.
Mm-hmm.
Bam.
And
Bam, bam.
yeah,
Meow,
yeah.
Meow meow.
And yeah, so then my needle leaf Java fern, which I still have from 2004.
Started growing like crazy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it still is going. And I've given some to Bentley Pasco, and he was like, "Man, I wish I had some needle leaf Java fern." And I was like, "Here's 2 leaves."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay." And now he's got forest jungle. So,
Right.
because that's what
Well,
he
and that's
does.
the thing. Nathan says, what 6 pH on hard water? I mean, a majority of plants do. And the reason that I say that is that the hardness of your water in your aquarium is going to be really applicable when you add it, right? If you have a ton of plants in a tank and you are maintaining a solid pH and you have a source, and the reason I say this, ammonia, you have some source of ammonia, you have some source of waste, those plants are going to bring the hardness of that water down because they're going to combine that waste with the hard minerals to grow, right? So the big thing that I would take into consideration if I had really hard water is how I was going about doing my water changes. That's what's going to be really specific for you. I have really soft water here. So I can literally do gigantic water changes. I don't have to really worry about anything. I add a little bit of dechlorinator, but I can do giant water changes without a worry because I have really soft water with not a lot in it. I think the last time just to give people an idea, my TDS is 15, right?
Yeah.
So there's just not, I have really clean water here. So there's really not much I have to really concern myself with.
Man, your water's even softer than mine. Mine's 38.
Yeah, as far as water goes, I can do water changes like crazy. If you have really hard water, you want to just kind of take into consideration the water chemistry of doing your water changes, right? So you may have to pre-filter your water a little bit if you're finding yourself going, oh, I'm trying to exclude waste from my tanks by doing water changes. Then that's something that you want to take into account. So you're not just continually adding hard water all the time on every single water change like crazy. But if you have a heavily planted tank and you're adding hard water to it, it's not going to be hard forever. It's going to be getting softer and softer and softer because the plants are going to be pulling that nutrient out of the water. So the upside there is that you do get some free fertilizer, basically, is what goes on there. But you may need to adapt what exact fertilizer you're using. You probably wouldn't need to focus too much on micronutrients because most of them are already in your water. And you'd probably want to just focus on macro stuff. So the easiest fertilizer I recommend to use is the Easy Green from Aquarium Co-op. It's the easiest one. It's just the easiest to use. It doesn't have excess of micronutrient, so you're going to get a lot of macros there. It's pretty easy to add a few pumps, see how it's going, add a few pumps, see how it's going, up it or raise it or lower it depending on need, your plant load and stuff like that you got going in the tank. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people go like, man, I wish I had your soft water. And it's like, yeah, but it's not as pivotal as people would like to put it. That it's like, oh, it's the end all be all. If you had this soft water source, it just makes life so much easier or whatever, because you can just filter the water. Filters aren't that expensive these days, and you shouldn't be doing so many water changes that it becomes cost prohibitive. Does that make sense? Like, you shouldn't be spending that much money on water changes, even if you do have to pre-filter your water a little bit. So yeah, I mean, don't get too out there worried about hard water with plants.
Right.
Archer's friend said our ferns go nuts, but we have hard water. Yeah. Any of the ferns are going to be good for hard water. Most Anubias will like hard water. But like I said, the heavier your plant load is, it'll soften up the water. It's going to pull those nutrients out of there. Metalfish said something, and then you retracted the message. And
he said his multis are burying his Anubias non petite that are connected to rocks, and then he took it back. I think it's because he pushed enter too soon.
There's some certain type of phone that does that. I think it's iPhone people. Because I don't know what the iPhone people got going on, but things are happening. Yeah. By the way, if you are an iPhone person, there's the join button. I found that out last week. The iPhone people don't have a join button, and maybe I should get a bot that constantly posts the join button in the chat like this.
Maybe like,
so if I'm just like
every 15 minutes.
If I'm just like every second, like just keep posting it.
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Nah.
Maybe that'll be my show in the future. It's just me hitting like
copy
pasting the join button into the chat for 2 hours. I'm not even saying anything. It's just me like I'm pasting this button in here in the chat, guys. I guess that would kind of be like a Mr. Beast count to 1,000,000. Have you ever seen that?
Mm-mm.
That's like one of the ways that Mr. Beast got famous, was just counting, or like saying Jake Paul 1,000,000 times or something. That was a lot of the weird stuff he was doing on YouTube. And really people weird. Apparently like that.
That's weird.
Which is why I'm always like, somebody said just do you earlier, and I forget who it was. It was somebody. I don't know who it was. I can't scroll in the chat and find it right now. But somebody was like, don't worry about it, just do you. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Like, because I don't want to do here's me saying Jake Paul 1,000,000 times. Jake Paul, Jake Paul, Jake Paul, Jake Paul. It took him like 40 hours or something. Something crazy. I don't know. It's just nuts. But regardless of that weird sidebar I just took, yeah, we're just doing that. We're doing what we do.
Yeah. Metal Fish wants to know if his multis keep burying his Anubias Donna Petite, which is glued to a rock, in a bunch of sand, should he worry about the rhizome? Or she, I don't know, Metal Fish, they.
They.
Yeah.
They, them, and
should
those,
they
right?
worry about the rhizome? Yes. Maybe put it on a taller rock.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, multis generally they're bottom dwellers. So, get some height.
Yeah,
they'll probably be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would definitely put the rock up somewhere, because the multis are going to just kind of stay down here.
Yeah. And you can bury the roots on Anubias as long as the rhizome is not completely buried.
Yeah, but multis are jerks about that kind of thing.
Yeah, the fish don't know that. They don't care.
Yeah.
They're just like, the fish doing fish stuff.
Yeah. They're like, what's this?
You'd be outside the tank yelling at them like, keep the rhizome above the substrate, you stupid fish. And they're like swimming around, And you're like, oh, dude, what's up, bro? I told you. I wrote it down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for serious. Yeah, I would definitely move the rock. Set yourself up for success.
Yeah. Set yourself up for success, man. Like, that's the whole point. We said it earlier. It's supposed to be a stress reducing. not stress inducing.
Mm-hmm.
We want a reduction of stress, not an induction of stress. Is that right?
I don't know.
Induction? Is that correct? Probably wrong.
I mean,
Induction.
an oven
Let's look it up.
is an induction.
Let's look it up because we're adults. The action or process of inducing someone into a position or organization. The process
about
or
just-
action of bringing about or giving rise to something. Yep. Okay. So I was right.
All right.
The process or action of bringing about or giving rise to something. We don't want induction of stress. We want reduction of stress.
Yeah, yeah.
God. Somehow I was accidentally speaking with my mouth hole correctly. God, hey man, welcome to the 21st century, folks. It's a new day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new age. Wireless Bluetooth technology things with buttons and clicking, and words. Cha-cha.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, bud.
Metal fish.
People always just wonder, like, what is he talking about? I'm like, don't worry. Don't worry. I'm right there with you, folks.
Right.
I don't know either.
Sometimes words just come right out your mouth. They don't pass through the head first.
Does anybody hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? All right, I'll be right back. You hold down the fort. I got to pee real bad or I'm going to pee my pants.
Okay.
I'm going to pee pants.
Don't want to be a pee pants.
I don't want to pee pants.
Metal fish. Yeah. Familiar with Maltese. I haven't kept them personally, but I've definitely been familiar with their fun little antics and how they like to carry shells around and rearrange the tank. They are a African cichlid, and rearranging things within a tank is a thing that African cichlids do. And then Maltese specifically are all down at the bottom, and they like to carry things around and rearrange things how they like them. And so, yeah, I would definitely work with your fish instead of against them. Yeah, just try to get that rock, get the Anubias off of whatever rock it's on, put it on a taller rock, larger rock, whatever you got to do. And then you will be less upset with your fish. Yeah. All right, well, the cat's away, so the mice will play. What else do we want to talk about? Nathan Yandel. I have to use 3 caps of Prime for a 15-gallon water change, and about once a month I use about the same amount of Seachem XL. What you using the Excel for? You got some hair algae?
Pee pants! Pee pants! Oh, God. My fly swatter. Oh, God, I need it.
Oh, he's coming back, you guys.
It's a butterfly. I don't know if you guys know this about my fly swatter. My fly swatter is a butterfly.
Yes.
My fly swatter. My fly swatter. My fly swatter.
Right.
My fly swatter. Oh my God, I have another fly swatter. I have one here too.
So you can like
They got the green demon
smash them in. Yes.
and the butterfly. Oh, wow. Wow, guys. Welcome to the 21st century again.
Heck yeah.
It's the year 20.
You can have 2.
It's 2022. What?
You can have 2 fly swatters in the 21st century.
You know what I'm talking about. In the 21st century, you could own 2. Imagine. Stop talking about him. He's back. Oh, my God. Were you guys talking about me? Oh. Feels good. Feels good, folks. Feels good.
Living rent free in our minds.
I'm living rent free in your brain. Living rent free in your mind. Okay. What were we on about? What were we talking about?
We were
Sorry, it was very rare that I ever have to pee that bad, but I just randomly was like, I got to pee so bad, it's going to be an accident.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
No,
And before anyone asks, of course I wash my hands, you psychos. People have asked me that many times when I've run up to go pee during live stream. Did you wash your hands? Yes. Of course I did. It smells like lavender, bros.
I just assume.
It's the 21st century. Lavender soap, dude. Hello. Oh, so fresh.
I ain't sniffing your hands, man.
I am. Oh, it's fresh. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. What were we talking about? Fish tanks or something? I don't know.
Yeah, we were talking about. Well, we were
what are
just
we on
talking
for the
about
second half of the show? The second half of the show? Big D Smoke's got to go pick up online order at dispensary and stop at store while my knee is not too bad, which is great. It's so good to hear.
I think he had his surgery.
He did. And then he had some complications. I reached out to him. I was like, "Where you been, dude? Are you okay? Is everything all right? Do you need help?" And it turns out he had some complications. He had some swelling and stuff. So he was like, they were kind of having him just chill for a while, and he's on the up and up now, which is good.
Which is really good.
Yeah, which is badass. So happy to hear that his so happy to hear that his knee's feeling better, especially when you know that somebody's been in pain for so long, and it's like, oh, now you got another pain thing to deal with. That's radical. So much fun. Yeah. So, but if he's going to pick up orders, then
it's going.
That's good.
That means that he can do some limited mobility stuff.
Yeah, probably. It's probably very limited. They're probably like, chill, bro. Don't go crazy.
Don't go crazy.
Nathan Yandel says, I have to use about 3 caps of Prime for 15-gallon water change, and about once a month I use the same amount of Excel. Okay, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. One of the craziest things I would say is that with super hard water like that, like I would say get some CO2, because plants are going to grow buck wild. If they have like full availability of CO2, you've got all those micronutrients all the time. It's probably just an advantage situation right there. If you can find a reasonably priced CO2 set, kit, whatever you want to call it. Where's the one? There's one that's there's one on Amazon now that I've recommended to people that has been working out pretty well. It's the F Zone CO2. Yeah, I think this is the one. There's like a single outlet one. That's not the one that I recommend. Where is that one? There's one that's like dual outlet. Oh wait, that's not the right one. Oh wow. Sometimes this goes quickly and sometimes it goes right off the rails where I try to find a thing from a certain company. I guess maybe I got to go here and then the seller. Maybe I go over to the seller page. Am I able to get it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Eh? Oh, he's saying. Oh, he's to clarify. Flourish, not Excel. Oh, okay. Yeah, Flourish is probably going to help. I would imagine. I stopped using Flourish along many moons ago, though. So, who knows? Maybe they recalibrated. Maybe they recalibrated their mix.
I don't know. Last I heard, Flourish is still pretty weak.
Is it weak cheese? Weak sauce?
Yeah, it's weak sauce. It's really diluted.
See, here's the thing. I like stinky cheese, bros. I don't like weak sauce.
Do you like Limburger?
Yeah, why not?
I couldn't get past
the smell.
Yeah.
You gotta get the flavors, man.
Yeah.
Classically trained chef over here, man. You gotta learn to taste the flavors.
I like my gorgonzola and my blue cheese, like Parmesan, Romano, anything that's like a hard cheese. Love that.
I like hard cheeses too.
Yeah.
I love cheese. I hope you guys understand. I have a powerful lust for cheese, and it might be a problem. It might very well be a problem. Here's the Amazon link for like what I think is a reasonably priced dual stage CO2 setup. It is an Amazon affiliate link, so if you go through the link and go buy your groceries or whatever you're gonna. Somebody bought something on there. I can't say. If you go buy weird stuff on Amazon, go through our Amazon affiliate link, and yeah. Okay, since they the Federal Trade Commission requires me to like warn you guys that I post a affiliate link nowadays, so I have to do that, and it really sidebars the show, but The fish fam has reported me to the authorities in the past. The attorney general was up my ass trying to get me for crimes that were like, this is oh my God, this is a crime? We're not criming. We're not criminals. We're not doing that. That's not our thing. What's happening? Oh my God.
It's crime time.
It's crime time with the criminal sneakers. They're sneaking. They're criminals. They're criminal sneakers. I'm going to hang up on Discord because no one's even bothering to come talk to us. So I hung up. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Discord.
That's okay.
Is anybody posting in there? Do I need to pay attention to... Oh my God. We have a new... We have a new person in the Discord. I think we know who it is. A new
Everybody
member today.
clean up.
Was it Darko? Oh my God, we got a new patron and a new member today.
I don't even know what to do.
Oh my God. We need 100 new members, guys. Right now. Is that how that works? I mean, if I mean,
if you could just...
Here's the thing. Like, if
sure.
If Technoblade can just ring the bell in Minecraft, right?
Yeah.
We need a bell. We need a Minecraft bell in here, and we could ring it. You know? A big brass bell. You know, you're familiar with the Minecraft bell.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously. I was just thinking about recreating one in, like, what's it called? That, just like cutting out foam and then spray painting it to look like the bell.
Oh, we just
so
make
that it
one.
was,
We just make one that is like a model.
Yeah, of the pixelated Minecraft bell.
But then if we bonk it, it won't make noises.
No, but you'd have to have like a sound effect.
We need a sound effect?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. We got to get a real one and go half deaf. Although I guess I could just set up my MIDI controller and just bring a bell song sound.
Either way.
Every time I hook up my MIDI controller and my music stuff down here, I'm like, I'm so not ready to live stream it that I just put it away. I'm like, I got to disconnect this because I'm going to start doing it during the stream and it's not going to go good yet.
Oh.
And I don't want to finalize the setup. Like, the mixer's right over there right now. But, like, I don't want to finalize the setup because we're going to move from here very soon, and hopefully tomorrow.
It's not plugged in, y'all.
No, it was plugged in. I zip-tied it back up, so it wasn't all loosey-goosey.
Yeah. See? Tied.
Mainly because the wire tie was still sitting there. Otherwise, I normally wouldn't because I have drawers. I just throw them in the drawers now. I'm not organized. I'm a mess.
Drawers full of
hopefully tomorrow.
cords.
Hopefully tomorrow we find the new fish extravaganza location. I sent you the link. Nobody
the new
else...
Olivia house.
Yeah. I sent the link to you so you could look at it and you'd be like, oh, cool. Or you'd be like, oh, bummer. And you said it sounded cool.
It is cool.
Looks
and
cool.
It's got that like unfinished mother-in-law going on above the shop and just all sorts of cool stuff.
It's got good stuff.
Cool.
Good stuff's happening. So
yeah.
The fish room extravaganza will hopefully move. And words. You know. Mouth words. What was I going to look up? There was a thing I was going to look up. Oh, yeah. Brass bell. Large. Let's look up a brass bell. Large. Personalized brass ship nautical bell. It's getting bad reviews. Titanic bell? No, that's not good. Thor instruments. That's one word, by the way, apparently. Amazon has some options. Amazon has some brass bell options. Well, it seems like 11 inches is as big as they get. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to research brass bells now. Yeah, this is good. This is good. We're gonna have to get a big brass bell and then we're gonna smash it with a hammer to make noise. We need more cowbell. Yeah, we do. We need more cowbell, for sure. So you've narrowly navigated your loss of air this week. That worked well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it good. And then
I even affixed it to the ceiling with
zip ties.
With straps, 2-hole straps and zip ties.
Oh my God, both?
Yep. We got a hybrid system going on, man.
All right. Hey guys, it's a hybrid system. We know all about that, right?
It's a hybrid ceiling system.
It's official. It's official.
Mostly because I didn't want to drill into the HVAC of my house.
It's true. Although the HVAC at your house is a relatively easy fix. So if you did drill into it.
Well, yeah, but still.
Yeah. Oh, man. We were supposed to schedule this weekend to come fix your beam. Did I tell you about it?
No.
The guy cut his hand real bad. My helper guy.
You told me that somebody cut their hand real bad. You
Yeah.
didn't tell me that it was the guy who was going to come fix my beam.
Well, it would be he and I. He'd be the other end of said beam. And then he tried to help me on Sunday last weekend, and it was there was a lot of swearing going on because he couldn't grab things with his hand very well. So we're gonna wait for that to heal. It was hopefully gonna be this Sunday, but it's probably gonna be pushed back another week.
Well,
yeah. So
Yes.
it is what it is, man. Yeah. The whole day was. I had to take him to the ER. Like, it was just ridiculous. Yeah.
I tried to make sure that when I was putting the air system in, to make sure and put it at least 2 feet away from where the beam is going to go. And hopefully that's enough space.
Yeah, it's fine.
It was like, okay.
We're gonna do some tricks with your air system. It'll be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I assumed that what I did was just going to be like the super temporary thing anyway. So
Generally.
it cost me less to do that than to purchase a new freaking air
hybrid?
pump, a new air pump,
Air pump.
which would have temporarily fixed the problem that I was having of the one air pump dying,
Right.
because the one air pump would have cost me $75.
So did you drill and tap and thread all your
Yeah.
all your airlines? Oh, look at that. Like a pro.
Yeah. I
Like a
even
pro.
put pictures in the Discord.
Yeah, well, you got to be a member to go on the Discord. I was going to share some of your pictures. And then I was like, no, these people need to become members to join the Discord so we could talk about fish tank stuff all the time.
Yeah,
and,
that's true.
and other things.
Yeah, that's true. And I put all the pictures up. I put
Like gas prices.
I didn't put the gas price up.
Gas prices has been hot on people's minds.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, last month I just paid my gas bill for my driving card, my gas card. I have a card that I only use for gas.
Oh, cool. Do you get like...
It was $580 last month. How you like me now? How you like me now? Got to drive my truck around. How you like me now? Huh?
Is it that big one out in front?
That's one of my trucks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that the new one or the old one?
That's one of my trucks.
Hmm.
We don't talk about my trucks. How many trucks?
But
do
you
I
talk
have?
about, I don't
100?
know.
30? 40?
Well, I
No,
saw
that is-
like
yes.
12 of them around.
That is my truck. That's my truck. That's one of them. That's not the commuter. I don't commute in that thing. But
I
shows-
noticed it had the work truck plates. License plate.
the work truck plates.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
Well, it means it has a letter on the front and a letter on the back.
Oh,
and
yeah,
numbers
yeah.
in the middle.
Yeah. Yes. That truck can tow 13,000 pounds, man.
Dang.
Um,
I could tow your mother around. No, I'm so totally.
oh, your mama? Oh my God, Alyssa's on here dropping your mama jokes, guys.
Is it the 90s?
It is. It's apparently the 90s. So my gas bill was like $580 last month, and it was a short month too, so a little kind of depressing.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
I drive a lot.
Yeah.
I gotta go far.
You
all
drive
the
a
time.
lot more than I do, man.
I gotta go far all the time, which is another reason why I want to move, so I don't have to go as far all the time.
Right.
I can go downhill to work
Yeah.
instead
Like
of uphill. Instead of uphill, both ways. Oh my God, Michael Bublé says got tabs, which is a perfect reminder. And here's the thing. We were talking about the tabs last week. All the Europeans were confused. They had no idea what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Their eyes started spinning around. They didn't know what was going on. They may have passed out. I don't know. You know, it's weird. Europeans are generally very worldly, but when it comes to talking about licensing your car, I think a lot of the people that live in European cities just ride the train and buses and stuff, so they have no idea like what a car is first. God, I couldn't keep a straight face with it. But they were confused on what car tabs were. But the other day, I was at Home Depot picking up parts, hardware store. I was getting materials for a project, and I got out of my truck, and I looked down, and there was a car tab, a brand new one for 2023, just laying on the ground.
Oh, no.
And I looked at it, and I went, oh, my God, that just, like, relates to what we were talking about last week. I picked it up, and it still had the sticker covering on the back. Like somebody just had one, and they just dropped it or something. I don't know. And I was like, oh, I should probably pick this up and, like, give it to a cop or something. And then I was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I picked it up and I just put it on the curb. So hopefully, like, maybe the person would come back. And then I went inside. I grabbed a bunch of PVC or something or whatever I was getting.
It's a popular item this week, man.
It's always a popular item. I think I was picking up EMT, but regardless. So I grabbed that stuff. I came back out, and there was a guy like cleaning up the landscaping right near it, and he was definitely eyeballing it. So I think the landscaper guy got a free tab. But it has a code on it. Like, they know whose tab it is, so don't put it on your car because it's like total crime. Don't do that.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
You have a crime stuck to your car, you know? Like, it's not good. It's not a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Being me and having spare time in the day, I guess, I would probably have gone and found the nearest Department of Licensing and just, like, handed it in and been like, I don't know, I found this on the ground. And they'd be like, what? And I'd be like, I found this on the ground. Probably you guys can do something with it.
See, the problem is that I think that the person, if I had driven to the DMV or the DOL, they would probably have just thrown it in the trash, which is what I was assuming the landscaping guy was going to do. But also at the same time, I was like, I just don't have time. I don't have time. I'm too busy. I got to go. Otherwise, I probably would have given it to a cop or something, but I didn't see a cop standing right next to it. So I didn't do that.
Yeah, I
was
don't
just
know.
like, I don't know. Hopefully, I was just like, I don't have time to mess with this. And I probably should have taken a picture of it because it was kind of funny. But then I didn't want to have any evidence that I was around anybody's car tab that was loose.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Drew, man, how do you get the YouTube name just Drew?
Get there early?
Get there early, I guess. What's your thoughts on the Eheim 100 air pump? I'm thinking about running a large sponge filter and air stone. Would the 100 be sufficient? It's on a 55 gallon. I personally have never done anything with the Eheim 100, so I don't know.
It says it puts out, what is it? Sorry, I've been looking it up. 26 gallons of air per hour, which sounds like a lot.
Yeah, this little guy? I mean, for how many? Think about running a large sponge filter and an air stone.
In a 55 gallon.
Are you going to try to split the air stone and the sponge filter? Because I would just run the sponge filter as the air stone. That I would just, yeah, it's the same deal. I don't think you need an extra air stone because the sponge filter is an air stone. Am I weird? Is that? I don't know what volume this one does, but let's see.
I'm gonna compare it to one that I know.
Yeah, I don't know this air pump, but my guess is Probably for a 55-gallon tank. I mean, you're running like one sponge filter. It should run one sponge filter, but I don't know what kind of volume this pump actually does.
Here, I'm just gonna compare it to the Whisper 100, which is something that I have used and until just recently. So let's see, what does the output say?
See, Lumpy Dog found a driver's license on a running trail. I turned it into the police station nearby. See, that's the thing. If it was somebody's ID, I would have turned it in. Like if it was somebody's driver's license or something, I would have turned it in. But it was just somebody's car tab loose on the ground. Very weird. Very weird vibes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You blowing up, dog?
No, I'm not blowing up.
You blowing up, dog?
I'm doing some math.
And then you're supposed to say, "What's that, dog? What's up, dog?"
Oh, what's up, dog?
I don't know. What's up, dog? Oh my god.
Let's see. So the Whisper 100 does 3.3 liters per minute.
Liters
Yeah.
per minute.
Whereas the Eheim 100 does 26 gallons per hour. So now we gotta do some math.
Now you got to divide.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Maths.
3.3.
3.3 with 597 2123 Who put a niner in there?
0.8.
Who put a niner in there? Oh, I looked at this house yesterday. It's moving ready.
All right. So, okay. So I would actually recommend just using the Whisper 100. It does more than twice as much air. And you can it will definitely work, and it's nice and it's relatively quiet as long as you put all 4 feet down on something solid. You'll be good, I think. And also it's cheaper. Yeah, it's cheaper.
What is?
The Tetra Whisper 100 is like $21. Versus the Eheim Air Pump 100 is $34, both on Chewy.com. So, if you're gonna do that, do that.
Amazon affiliate.
Or you can look on the Amazon.
Hey, we're not sponsored by Chewy.com. Get out of here, Chewy. Get. Go on, get. Go on, get. Get out of here, Chewy. Although
see.
Vicky orders stuff from that place, and they seem pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I like buying what is it, Mopani off of Chewy.
Mopani wood?
Yeah.
Mopani wood. That's like a Mopani wood. It's like a knockoff of Dollywood. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I swear.
Like it's not Dolly Parton, but it's a knockoff of Dolly Parton's Dollywood.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Legit.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows.
Plus the Tetra Whisper 100 or whatever is going to come with 2 outlets anyway, so you won't even have to mess around with a T-split.
Got it.
You're going to be good to go. Good to go.
Is it good to go?
Yeah. I hope that helps. I don't know. If you were already set on the Eheim, then, you can totally do it, but you're going to get better action out of your Tetra Whisper.
Huh? What are you doing
just
over
swallowing.
there? So, okay. I looked over there and it was getting weird over there. What were you doing over there? What was going on?
Well, I took a swig of
Didn't you have to start drinking? You had to stop drinking coffee, right?
Well, this is the last of my coffee.
So you're drinking a whole jar of it?
Yeah.
So the doc says stop drinking coffee, and you're like, okay, I'll drink all of it instead. What? Is that what's going on?
I
Where's that
had
decaf?
like 2 days left of my coffee.
All right, well, I see what's happening here.
I wasn't going to just throw it out.
Yeah. So
tomorrow.
tomorrow you begin no coffee.
Yeah.
Decaf.
decaf only.
Oh my god. I thought I
Because
figured
apparently,
apparently.
all my insides are messed up.
Well, I mean, I
And I've got pictures to prove it.
don't know about any of that, but the doc was like, "Hey, stop doing that." And so now you're just drinking all the coffee?
Well, I only had like a little bit left. And I was like, I'll just finish up this bag of coffee.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll start on the decaf.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I figured you were just over the no caffeine depression already. But apparently not. Apparently just jacked. You're jacked up on caffeine and goofballs.
Well,
Yep. Yeah, you heard it
Sure.
here, folks. Yep, it's true. It's true. Uh-oh, people are wondering about the tabs again. Yep. Lumpy Dog says, increase intake until the stash is used up. Medical advice taken. Okay. Hey, man, we're not doctors, so it's not medical advice. I hope you guys know that. Not a doctor.
no.
Maybe Dr. Acula.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back. Oh, that's a circle back. It's a callback to before when we couldn't verify if I was dead or not.
Right.
Yep. You haven't verified.
Or Dragula. That's even further back with the fishnets and the heels.
It's true. It's true. Further back. My sponge filter is my backup filter. I have a 407 as my main filter. I'm looking for more surface agitation without aiming the outlet towards the top of the tank. Yeah, I mean that's a good. That's gonna be your best bet. I mean, add a sponge filter. It's like adding an air stone with some extra benefit. So I think it's worth. That's a worthwhile venture, I would say. In my opinion, I would say that's reasonable.
Ohana says, I really think the tabs thing must be regional because we don't use it in the Midwest.
No?
I guarantee you, I grew up in Minnesota, and yes, we do.
Minnesota.
So maybe they just don't in Illinois. We
What,
call them
like-
tabs
What, in Chicago?
in Illinois. She lives in Illinois somewhere.
Isn't Chicago in Illinois?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they don't say car tabs there? What do they say?
I don't know.
Grits? What
do
do they say?
they say?
Grits? Or they're like, how many grits? And you're like, what? And they're like, they go in your car so you don't get pulled over by the police for a infraction. Like, what?
Right.
Yeah.
I never had grits till I moved out here, man.
Alana says they have stickers. They don't call them tabs. That's weird. Okay.
That's weird. I called them car tabs.
I don't know. I mean, you learn something every day, I guess, but like maybe it's just your family or something.
Or it's just Illinois.
Maybe it's just Illinois. Well, what do they call them?
Yeah.
Well, what's the alternative?
Registration
We call them
stickers?
registration stickers.
You just call them what they are?
I have never met anybody who refers to registration stickers.
Man. But now we have.
I mean,
We have met
every little
Ahana
bit,
here.
every little bit of the American language gets foreshortened, right?
Well,
Because we don't
Yes.
want to. We don't want to say the long version of anything. We say DMV,
yeah.
the Department of Motor Vehicles, because we don't want to say, well, the Department of Motor Vehicles. I went down there to try and get my driver's license. I was going down. Oh yeah, hold on. Let's go full Atlantic. On Thursday, I went down to the Department of Motor Vehicles in order to acquire my driver's license. Like, nobody talks like that. Right?
Not in real life, anyway.
Everybody shortens everything to, like, tabs. Like, soda pop, right? Like, people say soda, or they say pop, or you get real brain rot and just call everything Coke.
I would like to go on down to the corner store and get myself some refreshment.
I don't know what's happening right now. I don't know what you're doing.
Because back in the
I went
day,
down to 7-Eleven and got a pop. That's what you would say.
you go
right?
back in the day, you go down and they would have the little
Yeah.
The soda fountain. And
Down to the soda jerk.
yeah.
Ah, down to the sock hop. Yes. You going down to the sock hop? Was it the under the sea dance, like from Back to the Future?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we all put on our poodle skirts and had our hair up.
Preston says, Illinois, the Secretary of State's sticker producer was unable to provide 2023 stickers in the usual format, which allows our office to individually print information on the sticker. Yeah. I don't know. I think this is an Alana Suki thing, because she says a tab is a type of soda form like from the 80s or something that you pull on. No, tab was a type of pop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it
what
was
my
a name
grandma
brand.
drank.
It was a name brand like Coca-Cola or Mountain Dew or Pepsi or whatever. It was a type of pop, and it tasted like trash because it had like no caffeine and no sugar or something.
And no sugar. It was all like sucralose or something.
Yeah, it was like sucralose or aspartame, and it gave people brain cancer or something. I forget. It was like, don't drink this crap. It's giving people ailments.
Yeah.
Which naturally, you know. But,
However,
back in the day, if you really wanted a cola, if you wanted to have a cola soda pop, you would have yourself a Jolt Cola so you could power up, you know?
Yeah.
You remember Jolt Cola? It
I
had like
do.
10 times the caffeine in it or something, and kids would
it was mostly
just
sugar.
weird out, dude.
It had like a lot of caffeine in it, but I think it was on par with Mountain Dew.
I had a buddy named Joe.
Really?
And he would drink Jolt Cola like crazy. Like crazy. Kid was a hardcore gamer before gamers were cool, right?
Yeah.
Because gamers are still not cool, but they just stream on Twitch now, and that's cool, I guess. Which it is cool, I guess. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this kid, dude would drink so much Jolt Cola. He would get like the shakes, you know what I mean? Like, he'd be all like losing his cool, whilst really doing nothing.
Yeah.
Gaming.
Yeah.
Playing, Super Mario.
I used to know kids in college that
Jumpman on
They're
the Commodore 64.
their entire diet would be like Cheetos and Mountain Dew Code Red. And that was it. That was all they would eat. And I'd be like, what about like vitamins and stuff, man? What? And then, there are these guys that are like pale and just like super skinny, and they don't have good posture and stuff. And you're like,
Lumpy Dog says, Jolt Cola and Pop Rocks. Woohoo! How did we live through that? I don't know. I'm going to tell you, I experienced the entirety of the 80s, okay? I experienced all of it, baby.
mm-hmm.
I don't know how anybody survived through it. We should all be dead, really. I mean, that's just a reality.
I only missed 1 year.
Like, I don't think kids these days realize, like, just how asinine, like, our upbringing was. Just to the effect that, like, people that are, like, 65, I don't realize, like, how crazy their upbringing was.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I was actually talking with my mom about this the other day, that I was like, because how old's my mom? 69?
That's how old my dad is.
Yeah, she's right in there. I can never remember her exact age, but like when my mom was a kid, segregation existed, right?
Yeah.
And I was like trying to explain to my mom that I was like, there are a lot of people her age that still exist that have not changed their mind since when they were like 18 and throwing rocks at minorities for going to school.
Yeah.
Right?
Or just like existing out in the world.
Which I think makes people upset, right? Because they're like, that's upsetting. Don't talk about that. That's bad. I'm like, well, we need to talk about it because those people are still here, right? And some of them have changed their mind. And in fact, a majority of them have changed their mind. An extraordinarily vocal minority, though, seem to be entrenched in that thought process. But I think a lot of it has to do with like trauma, right? And it's like trauma from your upbringing. And it's from a perspective of like, if I talk to somebody who's like, between 20 and 25, these days. They don't really know what it was like in the 80s. It was just chaos. It was like just pure chaos. You know, to the same degree that like for, you know, my parents, it was pretty chaotic when they were kids, you know? But, you know, like in the 80s, it would be like 9 and it would be like, yeah, we'd get home from school at like 3:30 or something. And then like, but my parents wouldn't get home until like 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know, you'd just be home for like 2.5 hours by yourself.
Yep.
You know, it's pretty weird. But yeah, Archer's friend says watching live chat with a 10-minute delay on your show is like deja vu. Oh, you're like behind. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that happens.
The world did end in the 80s. That's when we all got uploaded into the simulation. That's not true. If this was the simulation, I would have rejected it by now and been removed from the Matrix if that was the case. And not that I'm Neo. Okay, let's get that clear. I'm not Neo. They probably would have just thrown me into the recycling bin, if you know what I'm saying. The compost bin. Yeah. If we were in the Matrix, if this was the Matrix, I would have rejected it by now.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
You'd have become the Soylent Green.
Soylent Green is people, so yes, I would have become that.
Nutrient soup.
Nutrient soup, my friends. Okay, if you aren't a member, become a member because it's very important. Because we don't have a whole lot of time left on the show here to say thanks to the people who become members. So become a member or go over to Patreon and become a patron. There, I did my commercial thing. Moving on. But yeah, like how did we survive like Pop Rocks and Jolt Cola and stuff like that? Like, I don't know. I really don't know. Like food is so bad, right?
Yeah.
Like from the 80s, like everything was either artificial sweetener that would kill you, artificial butter that would kill you.
Oh my God. So much margarine.
or just like pure sugar, you know, that would kill you. Like, it's just a super bizarro world upbringing. And, you know, I was one of those lucky people that, like, you know, like I said, my parents wouldn't get home till like 5:30 or something, 5:30, 6 o'clock. But my mom would make dinner every night. Like, that was for sure going to happen. Like, there was going to be dinner. We all had to sit down and have dinner, which I hold to that. I hold to that now. Like, me and Vicky and Olivia are going to have dinner.
Yeah.
Like, that is going to happen. We're going to sit at a table and we're going to have dinner. That's normal to me. Like, and to me, it's like, there are a lot of variances that you could do with your parenting technique or whatever, or your family technique or whatever you want to call it. Right. But like, you got to have dinner together. Like, you just have to.
Yeah.
That to me is like, if you aren't doing that, you're an idiot.
It's like a daily grounding.
And maybe you're working evenings. Maybe you're working evenings or something, and you have to have like a lunch together or I don't know, breakfast or something. Like, I get it. I'm not trying to ostracize anybody for working a crazy work schedule, but like, you got to figure out something like that so you can get a daily connect.
Yeah.
You know, it might be, like I said, it might be breakfast. I mean, I worked graveyard shift for the longest time. And I think if that was the case, I would come home and make breakfast. I think if I was still working graveyard shift, because that would mean I'd get home at like 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then I would make breakfast for Olivia and Vicky so that we could eat together. Like, you got to do that. You got to do something like that. You have to.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
For sure.
Figure it the F out.
Yeah.
Buy some hamburger meat, buy a bag of rice, and buy some broccoli, and just make a meal. There you go. You're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me. Blah, 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 blah. Do they still feed kids pixie sticks? You're gonna have to ask Alana for that one. She would know if the kids are on the pixie sticks.
I know they still exist because I see them usually for Halloween. Usually they bring out the old classic weird candies for Halloween. But I don't manage any diets for any kids. But I know that as a kid, yeah, we were definitely given margarine instead of butter. Like, we never had butter in the house, like, at all, except for baking. But we weren't allowed to use it unless it was for baking. If we were cooking ground beef, you would drain the beef and then you would rinse the beef under hot water after you cooked it in order to get all the fat off of it, because you weren't allowed to have any fat. Yeah, so we really took that whole fat is bad idea and just like really ran with it as much as possible. Like, if it was an artificial fat, that was supposed to be okay, hence the margarine. If you just like missed the flavor of butter, we had something called butter buds, which was like the flavor of butter but without the fat. And we had essentially everything that we ate was like boiled vegetables, and you were shamed for using salt on them, and then big plate full of pasta, and then like 2 meatballs. Like 2 meatballs, and then a whole bunch of like ragu. And
Oh yeah.
yeah.
It's got to be that sugar tomato sauce.
Yeah, for sure. And then like for breakfast you would have cereal, and we weren't allowed to have a sugar cereal, so we were given like Chex,
That's good.
but we were allowed to put sugar on it. And
Right. So yeah, I remember that. Like when I was a kid, like people would be like, "Oh, you only get the
grown up cereal.
yeah, you only get like grown up cereal." But then there was a sugar bowl. And
Yeah.
the kids would just go put like
as much as they
4
wanted.
tablespoons of sugar on a
Yeah.
bowl of cereal and get diabetes.
Right. And then again, we weren't allowed to have fat, so we were only given skim milk until we revolted and finally were allowed 1%.
1% milk?
Uh-huh.
That's trash.
Yeah. And
Skim milk is trash too, by the way.
yeah, it just tastes nasty. It's
Just
the
drink whole milk.
nastiest thing.
Just drink whole milk. Don't be a psycho.
Right.
Just
Right.
Just
I'm
have
just
some,
saying.
Just have some less.
That's just
right?
how we were raised. Like,
Just have some less.
we would have
Oh yeah, because I mean, like I remember when I was a kid, like fat was vilified.
Yeah,
like,
for
everything
sure.
was like fat free. And people would be like, "Oh, you got to drink skim milk, or you're gonna, I don't know, get fat or something." I
Yep.
don't know. It was like everything
if
was
you eat
fat
fat,
free
you're
and
gonna
crazy.
get fat.
Right. And yeah. So everything had mass sugar in it. I remember like everything had sugar in it like crazy. But like I said, when I was a kid, we kind of lucked out because like my mom would make dinner every day. So, and my mom like made dinner. Like she didn't, like I think she would cut corners with things like rice-a-roni.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? The San Francisco treat,
Yeah.
which is basically snazzy rice with some chicken stock and whatever thrown into it. So it's really not that bad for you, you know? Porcupine meatballs. You ever have porcupine meatballs?
No.
Oh, dude, they're dope, dude. It's ground beef and then like spices.
Nice.
And then you mix it up with dried rice. You take a ground beef, spices, make meatballs with the dried rice in it. And then you put it in a tomato sauce.
I have a
right?
question.
And then you slow cook it in the tomato sauce. So that the tomato sauce is kind of watery, but you bring down the tomato sauce so it's less watery, and then all the rice in there is cooked with the meatballs. Porcupine meatballs, I love those, dude. So good.
Is dried rice that has been cooked and then been dried out, or rice that has not yet been cooked?
It's not been cooked.
Okay.
It's just rice.
Okay,
Like
just
you just
checking.
get it out of the rice bag.
Just
Yeah.
checking.
Yeah. Yeah, skim milk is trash. Just stop doing that. Whoever's making skim milk, just cut it the F out.
Right.
It's just garbage.
It's ridiculous. What was the other crazy stuff that we would do? We would have, like, when we had eggs.
Oh, God. Michael Bublé has a good point. Remember when a single shredded wheat came in a cereal box? It wasn't single shredded wheat, but it was like this big. It was like the size of a toast. It was like big. They were big.
And then you were supposed to break it up.
No, you just put one in a bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got like a shredded wheat. You got a shredded wheat, and then you poured a little bit of milk on it. And boy, that was a real grandma. Like, what's going on at grandma's house?
That was
when she busted out the shredded wheat. But I will say this: the crunchy corn bran. I still love crunchy corn bran. That's an old Quaker cereal from like the Depression era. I still love that crap. Whenever I find it at the grocery store, I buy it. Keeps you regular too. I'm gonna be honest with you. It keeps your poops regular because it's just corn bran. It's just bran that's puffed.
Oat bran or raisin oats or
oat bran raisin oats is trash. Get out of here.
That's no. What is it?
Raisin bran's okay.
No, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but the shredded wheat was like a shredded wheat. But I will say this: like my grandma, like if you ever stayed over at my grandma's house, she was a chef. That's what she did. So you would have breakfast there. She would bake bread and eggs and bacon, and man, you were eating. But she's dead now, so it doesn't happen anymore. But you know, that's a thing.
That's a shame.
My other grandma is 1,000,000 years old. She's still alive. Don't go over there to eat.
Okay.
She doesn't have a lot of food.
Yeah.
She eats like a bird. Like one time I went over there and she made a piece of toast and an egg. One egg. And one piece of the skinniest toast you've ever seen in your entire life. It was like tortilla thick.
Oh, wow.
She toasted that up and she ate an egg. And she was like, "Oh, I don't know. I made so much food." And I was like, "What the hell is going on, Grandma?" Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there.
Joel G brings up a good point. Cow's milk straight from the tit is a pretty mind-blowing experience the first time.
We say teat, bro.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I was going to say udder, and then I was like, well, that's not what he wrote.
Or neplasia.
Sure. And grape nuts. That's the one.
Oh, grape
I
nuts.
loved grape nuts, Lumpy
Yeah.
Dog. Anyway.
They still make grape nuts, right?
Yeah.
Is that still there? Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so I have an aunt and uncle who ran a dairy farm, and so when I would go and stay up with them, I would get to drink the real milk.
Right.
And then I would come home, and Mom would be like, "Here's your skim milk water," and I'd be like, "This is trash."
Yeah. Did you just push it over, like real slow, like a cat? Like just right off the edge of the table? That's what I would have done.
No, I would just be like, can we just get like just 1%, just something? And finally my mom acquiesced, and she realized that I was just not going to eat breakfast if I had to have skim milk. And
we always had like 2% or whole milk.
yeah,
Like 2% was pretty common.
no, we were supposed to have no fat because we were already big chubby kids, and that was not okay. And my mom was trying desperately to cut every fat corner that she could.
Right.
And we didn't it was not like we were going down to the corner store and picking up stuff. Like, we didn't have money, and we didn't have corner stores because we just lived in the middle of like miles of suburbia. There wasn't any corner stores. There was just people's houses, and people weren't going to feed us. And yeah, so there was not. It was just that was not the diet that was good for us.
Right.
And yeah, so that was just what it was. Yeah, so yeah, definitely I agree with you, Joel G from NZ.
Oh, Michael Boulot says, didn't people heat up the grape nuts? Yeah, people used to heat up grape nuts. And it actually was kind of better when it was hot because it would get no longer rocky. It would no longer be gravel.
Oh,
Yeah.
I liked it because it had texture and it wasn't just mush.
It gets mushy, though. Once it's been sitting in the milk for a little bit.
Yeah, but you just I liked it so much that
Right.
it wouldn't have time
You
to
like
get
the chomp
mushy.
chomp.
I was like,
Got
yeah.
it. You like the chomp chomp. I get it.
Yeah,
You know.
I like that.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for shout out to. Oh my God, I closed the window. I got to scroll for 1,000,000 miles now. Big shout out to Russ McCormick for becoming a member on the YouTube channel. We only got one member, and we got one Darko Leskovchik. I think I got that right. I don't know. Probably not. Darko became a patron today, and yeah, which. All we got was one member and one patron, so that's not enough to keep going with the show because we've hit the 2-hour mark, and that's just how it works, bros.
Well,
so
we gotta stop eventually.
Yeah, we gotta stop. We didn't get it. Well, you know, if people are dropping like maximum super chats and stuff, we will probably go later.
Well, we would figure something out.
Yeah.
We would let me go use the bathroom so that I don't have pee pants.
True. We don't want pee pants.
No.
We are anti pee pants.
Yeah. Even though the washer dryer is right there, I didn't bring a change of clothes, y'all. That's not okay.
It's not.
No.
It's not okay. It's not okay.
Not.
Anyhow, thank you everybody for coming out. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for being cool and fresh and hot and neat. And it's 2022 or whatever the hell it is. And I see Alyssa is trying to get up and go to the bathroom. So I'm going to let her go. There we go. You can go now. You're no longer on camera. Go. Anyhow, thank you everybody for coming out. Our moist tattoo goal is, this is not the right number. We got to fix this number. It's not 222. It's 216, which means we're shorter to the goal. So if you guys want to laugh at me getting a moist tattoo, we got to hit 500 memberinos and patrons. That's the goal. I will be back on Monday, whatever the date of Monday is. I can't even. Can I hold on? Let me open the calendar here. Let's take a look. 7erd. We'll be back on the 7erd. Wish us luck in the house hunting crazy madness that has been going on around here. Hopefully we don't get outbid by $200,000 or whatever this next time around. And I'll see you guys on boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen on Monday, whoever you are. Bye-bye.